Once upon a time, in a small town in America, there was a man named John. John had always been a successful businessman and a pillar of his community. However, one day, he found himself at the center of a smear campaign that would change his life forever. It started when a group of his colleagues began spreading rumors about him. They accused him of embezzlement, fraud, and even criminal activity. John was shocked and confused. He had always prided himself on his honesty and integrity, and he knew that these accusations were baseless. However, no matter how hard he tried to defend himself, the rumors continued to spread. As time went on, John began to realize that this was not just a simple case of slander. He began to notice that he was being followed and monitored by people he did not know. He would receive strange phone calls and emails that seemed designed to intimidate and harass him. He realized that he was being gang-stalked. The situation became even more complicated when he discovered that the leader of the smear campaign was none other than his own boss, a man named Tom. Tom had always been jealous of John's success, and he had been looking for a way to bring him down for years. Tom was engaging in projection, gaslighting, and word salad to try to confuse and disorient John. John began to feel like he was losing his grip on reality. He would find himself questioning his own memories and perceptions, wondering if he was truly guilty of the crimes he was being accused of. He was experiencing the effects of gaslighting. As he delved deeper into the situation, John began to notice certain patterns and behaviors that he realized were indicative of certain personality disorders. Tom, he realized, had a narcissistic personality disorder. He was always seeking attention and validation and was willing to go to extreme lengths to get it. The others involved in the smear campaign were displaying signs of paranoid personality disorder. They were suspicious and distrustful of others and were convinced that John was up to no good, despite all evidence to the contrary. John turned to the scriptures for guidance and solace during this trying time. He found comfort in passages like Psalm 7 verses 15 to 16, which reads, "He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate." He realized that those who were engaging in dishonest and disrespectful behavior would ultimately face the consequences of their actions. In the end, John was able to clear his name and expose the truth behind the smear campaign. However, the experience left him deeply scarred. He knew that he would never be able to fully trust those around him again. But he also knew that he had learned valuable lessons about the dangers of projection, gaslighting, and word salad, and he resolved to use his experience to help others who might be going through similar situations. In the story I wrote earlier, the smear campaign involved individuals displaying certain patterns of behavior indicative of specific personality disorders. The leader of the smear campaign, John's boss Tom, was exhibiting traits of narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic individuals have a grandiose sense of self-importance and are preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited power, success, and beauty. They lack empathy and have a sense of entitlement, believing that they are special and deserving of privileges that others are not. The others involved in the smear campaign exhibited signs of paranoid personality disorder. Individuals with paranoid personality disorder are suspicious and distrustful of others, often feeling that they are being exploited or harmed. They are hypervigilant and may believe in elaborate conspiracy theories, leading them to engage in activities such as gang stalking. In terms of scripture that identifies these behaviors, there are several passages in the King James Bible that speak to the dangers of pride, entitlement, and suspicion. Proverbs 16 verse 18 warns that pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. This passage suggests that those who are consumed by their own sense of self-importance will ultimately face consequences for their actions. Similarly, 1 Peter 5 verse 5 warns that God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. This passage suggests that those who are humble and willing to acknowledge their own shortcomings will be more successful in the long run. In terms of the law, gang stalking and smear campaigns can be considered forms of harassment and can be punishable under criminal and civil law. If individuals are engaging in gang stalking to intimidate or harass others, they can be charged with stalking or harassment, both of which are criminal offenses. If the smear campaign involves financial abuse or manipulation, individuals can be charged with fraud or embezzlement. In cases where the smear campaign is being used to manipulate outcomes, individuals may be charged with abuse of power or obstruction of justice. Overall, the King James Bible emphasizes the importance of honesty, humility, and respect for others. Those who engage in smear campaigns and gang stalking are acting in direct opposition to these values, and their actions can have serious consequences both legally and personally. That concludes the message for the day. Stay church. Check out the Crooked Cross Ministries web store and get your apparel today. End transmission.